There are kids in this world who are different. Special.
In this episode, I'll be breaking down the 29th episode of 6 Months Season 4, piece by piece. Well, hello, Review Pub listeners. It's your son Mueller.
Now we are here today to talk about episode 29 of 6 Months Season 4, called Reach Out and Touch Someone. And this episode is huge. There's so many perspectives, and we're to a point in the season where things are really starting to pick up. It seems like we're going to see timelines collide and new partnerships formed. What's going on with Remy and Adam is very interesting and so unexpected.
And as we'll see with Sam in this episode,
I think she's really lost and doesn't know what to do. In other GZM news, it looks like a new series is dropping in the coming weeks. Along with that, GZM just put out their first listener tracker. Essentially, after you listen to one of their series, you buy a sticker and place it on the tracker.
But without further ado, let's get straight into this episode.
It's all about vibes, and yours aren't great.
Are we going to have a problem?
No problem. As long as you promise not to hurt me or my family.
Just like that?
Yeah, I mean, it seemed tense there for a moment.
But regardless, I don't think Adam has any reason to hurt Remy's family. It was said in Rewind, and I couldn't agree more. Adam only hurts people if he has a reason to. If anything, Remy is helping him, which he needs. I also really love this music cue. I mean, it really sets the mood when it shows up.
I think GZM has always done a great job with the music cues.
And this scene really gave me the chills. So it'll be interesting to see how Remy and Adam's relationship evolves, for better or worse. Because as we've seen, Adam has a really hard time trusting people, and that will come into play sooner or later.
You know I'm capable of really bad things, but you want to keep me around and help me be a good person?
Crazier things have happened.
In a way, Remy's taking the same route Holiday once did.
Holiday tried her best to help Adam, and now Remy's trying to do the same. And I honestly think Adam is at a loss for words. I mean, after all the suffering he's caused, there's still someone who wants to help him? Although, this could just be an act. We've seen how convincing he was when he pretended to be Holiday back in Season 2.
Who's to say he can't fool Remy?
I know I've talked about the music cue in the previous clip, but this one is just so great. You know, without Remy's life interrupted, Jess may have never been a part of GZM, and we would have never had GZM Rewind.
So I think this show is amazing in a million different ways, and it's so important.
Greetings from 2025, Dr. Whittier.
2025. Miraculous.
What's going on with the phone?
Alright, so the timeline is finally cleared up.
The show is set in 2025, which also means that time is moving in 1989. I think that's really interesting, and it helps us determine how long it's been since the start of Season 3 up until now, and how old everyone is. Something that might be overlooked is that nobody knows who Jude truly is. Dr. Whittier doesn't know that he's talking to his younger self, which is probably a good thing.
However, this puts Jude at a huge advantage because he can get
Dr. Whittier to trust him, maybe conduct some dangerous experiment. I also wonder how this will interfere with trying to save Adelaide. He'll be distracted, and we'll have to put Cyrus in charge. Either way, I'm excited to see what happens next.
I should look into that.
Can we please focus on the business at hand? Our very existence depends on it.
Well, let's start off with the helicopter situation. As I mentioned before, I'm not exactly sure how Dr. Whittier will react when he finds out that his helicopter has been stolen. He put his trust into Cyrus, and who knows the repercussions that he might put into place. Aside from that, it seems like Jude is trying to prevent the timelines from collapsing. Just that mention of the business at hand suggests that he's trying to prevent something fatal, although we haven't exactly found out what this something is. My mind jumps to electromagnetic forces, but
I'm not entirely sure
however, he might be lying, so
that he can come in contact with Brinley.
trying to protect the world's fate doesn't exactly sound like something to do, so maybe he has an ulterior motive.
The CEO.
I'm doing it, but I'm not sure we have the same priority.
And he's talking to Dr. Whittier?
Yeah, I'm not really sure what to make of that.
First of all, it's great to see Holiday going Inviso mode. She didn't show up in Season 3, so the last time we've seen her use somebody else's power was back in Season 2. Of course, Season 3 was Brinley's story, but I'm glad Holiday's such a big part of this season. And speaking of Inviso mode, I'm so excited for Cam to show up again. I mean, she's so fantastic. Aside from that, I'm so excited to see Holiday's reaction to hearing Dr. Whittier again. For years, she's been under the impression that he died, but now it's as if part of her life is coming back. Maybe she'll have flashbacks to Thornton Rust. However, if Holiday enters the room and Dr. Whittier hears her through the phone,
I'll have a million questions.
As we know, Holiday sounds exactly like Adelaide.
Is Holiday okay?
I don't know, but I stashed our hoverboard under that blanket in the back of the van. This might be a golden opportunity.
You mean?
Neverland.
It's nice to hear that Sam is genuinely concerned about Holiday and her safety.
This is the person that's been looking after them.
And it seems like River has forgotten all of that.
Forgotten all the generosity the Anders have shown time and time again. At the same time, I can't wait to see how they'll do on the hoverboard. Will they fail or do amazingly? Either way, I don't think they'll be prepared once they make it to the island. Adam's already at Remy, so how will the animals act once they meet the two? Will they be defensive and try to attack them, or be gentle? I'm also curious to see if the island has changed much. Is it still in good shape? Maybe it isn't such a perfect, beautiful place anymore.
I guess we'll just have to wait and find out.
Remy, I know Jude referred to you as the guide.
Ooh, I like that.
That suggests that you know how to navigate these portals.
Sorry, Adrock, but if you try to hop through, I have no idea where you'd end up.
See, that's what's interesting, because Remy's portals don't navigate through time.
Or other dimensions.
We're talking about different universes parallel to one another. So I think the fact that Remy's called the guide infers that she's really important. Kinda like the agents in Iowa Chapman and The Last Dog. I'm also curious to know how she got to Elixir Academy. Did Dr. Whittier take Remy there, like he did for Katie? And is there somehow an older version of Remy in the past?
Either way, her being called the guide raises a lot of questions.
I also love the nickname she gave to Adam. It shows that they're growing closer and that she actually cares about him.
As I said earlier, they're both on good terms despite her knowing who he truly is.
Whoa!
It sounds angry.
What does that mean?
It means I don't think it's a good idea for you to get too close. Somewhere something's making it do this.
Yeah, back to that idea of electromagnetic forces. I don't have a clip for this, but Penn said he's not causing the electric waves. I think the fact that two versions of one person are communicating
is causing an imbalance in the universe.
Made even more clear by the electric shocks. I think this idea is very interesting, but is also very complicated. Why is there so much electromagnetic activity in Florida? And what does that have to do with the time phone? These are all questions that will be answered in due time.
Now for my prediction.
I think the electric forces will grow stronger and will suck Remy and Adam through the portal. I'm not exactly sure when it will take them, or where,
but I'm pretty confident that something like that will happen.
I really think you need to hang up, Doc! Something is not right.
No, do not hang up. I'm not losing the connection.
Clearly, the connection is pretty important to Jude. I mean, you can just hear it in his voice.
I think that Jude will try and get Dr. Whittier to do something wild
that could have serious effects,
like blending the two timelines together. At this point, we're not exactly sure what could happen as a result of that, but I imagine it's nothing to sneeze at. We've already seen some serious anomalies, but I'm pretty sure this one is much bigger.
What was that?
Energy surge. I think it came from back at Whittier Corp Tower.
What kind of energy? Oh!
I don't know, but it just killed our controls. Hang on!
This reminds me of when Angel made the helicopter crash in Cyrus the Lost Tapes.
Except this time they're crashing their own helicopter.
I think Angel trusts Cyrus, but it would still be pretty hard to stay calm in this situation. As we know, this happened as a result of an electric anomaly. But my question is whether or not planes and vehicles all around the world are being messed with. That's why this is so serious, because it's affecting everybody, regardless of space or time.
Until next time, this is Landon saying peace, love, and time travel.